The Risen Star gave us the first 50-point prep. We go back a little bit. Let's go back for 20 points one more time at Turfway Park for this Saturday. It's the John Battaglia Stakes preview. Vinny and I have already done a dive into the past performances. We've watched some replays. So we're going to give you a first preview of what to look for in this Kentucky Derby prep. John Battaglia Stakes at Turfway Park this Saturday. Vinny, it's kind of a funky position in the Derby Trail for two reasons. One, we just had the Risen Star, which you're giving out 50 points, which is really huge when you look at the leaderboard, which we'll do that right now. Here's your standings. Paladin jumps to the top, getting the 50, gets 60 on the board now, basically stays healthy. He's going to be in the Kentucky Derby. Chip Honcho, remember I told you, Vinny, if there's a horse that gets second, I think that they're most likely going to have enough to get in. I think 39, you said around 40.
Yeah.
I think that puts Chip Honcho in a pretty good spot. And even Golden Tempo picks up a few as well to get to the 35. But the funny thing is that we now go back to 20 points. And the unique part of not only going back to 20 points is that the John Battaglia at Turfway is also run on the synthetic, last year won by California Burrito. So, a little bit of uniqueness to this weekend's prep race. But Vinny, we just looked at the past performances for the first time over the course of the last couple of hours. And when you joined prior to the show starting, you kind of said exactly what I said. Well, this is a fun race.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Turfway preps. You get, you don't always get legit contenders. Every now and again you do. I mean, a couple years ago, Rich Strike ran third in which one was that?
The later one.
Yeah, I forget
Jeff
the name
Ruby.
of it now. Yes. He ran third in the Jeff Ruby, ended up winning the Derby. Last year, Final Gambit won the Jeff Ruby, ran a good fourth behind Sovereignty. You every now and again you get horses that come through Turfway that run very well in the Derby Trail, so it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of I don't know. I like turf racing, and it's kind of the closest thing we get on the Derby Trail to turf racing, so it's fun. You get big fields too, a lot of local connections. Not afraid to take shots in these kind of spots.
Yeah, my ROI at Turfway is not good, so I use that with a grain of salt as we look through the past performance. But maybe, Vinny, I think I've done pretty good so far on this Kentucky Derby Trail. With Chip Poncho didn't let me down. I thought I was pretty proud of that in the chat, saying, "Hey, I thought he was going to get there. I really did."
He ran huge. I'm curious how he runs next time out. He really didn't have an excuse to lose other than he lost to Paladin, but he ran the race you wanted him to run if you bet him. Like he did nothing wrong. He was there until the last 100 feet. He had it, so it was a big run for him. I'm curious him stretching out next time.
Here is your field for the John Battaglia. 12 entered, with a number 13 being an also entered. We have a few race lens angles that pop up. We use race lens here on doubling down. Here you go. Number 7, Attfield. The sire is Vacoma on the dirt. Success score of 7.1 with only a -4 ROI. So although it's negative, we can click on it and see what the sample is. That's 677 starts. So that is a pretty substantial body of work for that angle there as well. And we also have one on the number 12, 2-out hero. Vinny, we just talked about this when we saw the green pop up. It's if a jockey's on early speed and the horse had trouble last time out. Success score 6.7, ROI -12. We'll take a look at 2-out hero to start us off. The trouble indicator pops up. It says bump 6.5 inside, bid 4 wide, 8th. I didn't think that the trouble was as much warranting of a comment here. We just watched that replay. But what we did notice was a pretty nice run in the stretch for he is the number 5, 2-out hero. What did you like about this horse?
Yeah, he ran really well here. This is a grade 1 up at Woodbine, and he sat a really good trip. He broke alertly. He sat close to the pace. He just got run down by Buick was on the number 10, who comes flying up here late and gets second, and Pratt's on the 1 here, who just kind of got the jump on the 10. But all three of them ran very well. I'm interested to see how he comes back this year. That was in September. So 3-year-old debut. We'll see. We'll see. I really like the breeding on this one though. Warfront out of Liam's map dam. This horse the distance should be no problem. Uh, just kind of really seems like probably a synthetic horse. So I'm not sure if we're really gonna get a legitimate Derby horse out of this, but for a synthetic, especially at Turfway, this could be a fun one.
Horses increasing speed figures 83, 90, 94. That was July, August, and September, though. So, one thing you want to pay attention to, as I've tried to hammer into Vinny's brain through some of these prep races, is watch out for these horses coming off of these long layoffs. You do have a fairly good body of work. February 14th of work, February 7th was one of seven going 5 furlongs, went 5 furlongs January 31st. So the workouts are there. I'm just always cautious of what price I might take on a horse like this that hasn't raced in such a while. Number one, Street Beast, Luan Machado. We don't have morning lines. We kind of surmised that this would probably be your morning line favorite. The horse ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, earning a 102 Equibase speed figure, finishing fourth behind a horse that really many thought was the most likely winner on the course of that Friday of Breeders' Cup. They came back in the Leonidas January 17th at Turfway Park, goes wire to wire, beating Fulleffort, who's the number 11, also in here. I'll let you talk about Street Beast because from what you're talking about, you sound pretty high on this horse.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this horse was great as a 2-year-old. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf was very, very promising in my opinion. Then comes back at it like, usually like those horses that run good in the Breeders' Cup. A lot of people like to take shots against. We've seen a couple already this year on the Derby Trail who looked good at 2, and then they came back. At time of recording, we just watched Ewing a couple hours ago. Looked pretty bad in his 3-year-old debut. So yeah, you have all these like highly touted 2-year-olds that then turn 3, and they don't come back super strong. Well, he came back and he looked pretty good here. His other previous races, like yes, he's near the lead, but he never needed the lead. They rode him like he was the best horse in the race here, and he only wins by 1, but he didn't do, he did what he needed to do. So I would probably not expect him to be the pace setter on Saturday, but
Really?
I think yeah. I don't. I mean, I think he'll be near. You look at his other races; he kind of wants to sit like a length off. I don't
I
think he'll be even from the rail. I don't. I don't think he'll go be the. If nobody else goes, sure. But if anybody guns it, like I don't think he's a horse that's willing to get in this. They're not willing to get into a speed duel with him. I think he's just fine like sitting right off the pace. So I yeah, I like that he came back and like yes, he didn't hit that 102 number from the Breeders' Cup, but the Breeders' Cup is kind of a different thing. If you compare his number to what he had been running as a 2-year-old, he did improve. His 3 races prior to the Breeders' Cup were all in the 80s. Comes back first race as a 3-year-old on the 95. That's that's pretty good, and I love seeing that when they come back from 2 to 3 and they improve. The Breeders' Cup got a big number because of your first, second, and third place horses were all solid, especially the winner. The winner ran a phenomenal race, so the race itself just got a huge fig because of that. But I think that's in line of what the step up should have been. So I'm not worried at all about it. As long as he gets out of the gate, I think he's going to be very tough to beat.
Let's talk pace. I just didn't see a lot of it in here, and that's why I thought that Street Beast might on the rail be the one that goes out to the front. And as you saw in that last race, going to wire was comfortable doing that. You have a lot of horses in here. You even have some horses that haven't won yet, like the
Yep.
number 3 Maximus Prime, and then you have horses that are coming out of their maiden special weight, trying to step up to this. It's a big step up, I think, for those horses. Whereas you have some horses in here, although I don't necessarily know what to do with the number 5 Baytown Dreamer with my boy Orlando Boca Chica on, the guy that over here at Suffolk Downs, we used to cheer on, just put him on the front end and watch him go because you were a sure winner at Suffolk Downs with Orlando aboard. This horse has raced in some stakes levels on the turf. They moved him to the dirt in the Smarty Jones at Oaklawn. He went off at 85 to 1 and actually finished third. Not too bad. Came
Yep.
back again in the Southwest and ran more like an 85 to 1. In fact, he was 124 to 1 that day, losing behind
Yep.
Silent Tactic by 29 lengths. Certainly has a lot of races to kind of go through and look at, but for me, I'd probably pass on him because I think there's some better ones in here. Your number 6 main special weight, they moved him to the dirt. They've tried the synthetic. The number 7, Attfield, who I said that the angle pops up for with Vacoma on top, is a $220,000 Keeneland September yearling sale in 2024. He broke his maiden first time out up at Saratoga on the turf at a nice price, beating Schwarzenegger. That must have been, was that Travers weekend, August 29th? Probably sounds around there. Comes
Yeah.
back, finishes third in the grade
I think
3
it's
on
the
the
weekend
turf.
after.
Was it
I
after?
think it was the
Oh yeah, that
weekend
was
after.
earlier
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Then goes back and wins again at Aqueduct, going a mile and a 16th, and that's intriguing to me. A horse that has won at the stakes level, has increasing speed figures. Tom Morley with Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard. Ooh, I didn't even see that. It's a nice. I love seeing Ricardo going down and coming
Yeah.
back again with this horse. So the 7 Attfield is one that I'm absolutely interested in. You?
Yeah, I agree with you. And another one that I think is going to want to be kind of near the pace. I think it's interesting that they're taking a shot here with this one. Definitely seems like they want to keep this one on the turf and for Morley to ship to Turfway and then to also send Santana. Like they must think that this horse has a legitimate shot, in my opinion, to send here rather than just running in like stakes races at like Aqueduct or just on the East Coast in general.
Yeah,
I
they're
think that's
deliberate
kind
in
of
their moves like that.
yeah. So that's it definitely very interesting. I think the distance, yeah, the street boss on the dam side. I think the mile and the 16th is probably right. I don't know how much farther this one maybe wants to go. Like as if they do run well here and then need to eventually put this horse in the dirt. I don't know how far on the dirt, but on the turf, I think the mile and the 16th, mile and eighth hits this horse perfectly. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in this one. Another one that seems kind of versatile. You know, debut race came from the clouds and won. Yes, it was a sprint. Uh, even the next in the even the futurity, like kind of sat a little farther back, made a nice move, ended up finishing third, and then last race sat a couple back, ends up winning. So I think this horse is a little more versatile. Uh, same. I think that I think you said used to talk about Boca Chica just going to the lead. I feel like that's what this 5 has to do, right?
Mm,
I mean,
yeah.
you take away the 2 dirt starts, and you look at the turf. Horse on the lead, on the pace, on the lead. You know, 4 back. It wasn't a. I'm guessing. Yeah, bump. There's a note that says bump break from the August 16th race. We didn't watch that, but we'd have to watch that to see. But it seems like on the turf, this horse at least has some cheap speed, you know. So I feel like that's where I feel like we could see this horse at a big price just go, which will set the race up for horses to well, that's an angle that you can't really tell anything from.
Yeah, you need the head on for that one.
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
what number, what rate this was, oh, August
He
16th, so he
he's the
is the
sixth. He's the sixth. He was the
it's the
sixth
6.
horse.
Sometimes they
Yeah.
have it
So
afterwards. Here we go.
yeah,
We'll wait on the internet to kick
yeah,
in.
yeah. Because like I feel like this is I feel like this is a horse that like I don't I agree with you. I think he's gonna be a huge price. I don't think he got a shot to win. But in terms of your pace, if I was gonna pick one horse that like kind of like is just gonna like need the lead and try to be brave, I feel like it's him. Uh, yeah, I
He just broke
guess
in a little bit. I don't really think he got
yeah,
bumped. It was more
yeah.
of him
I
doing the
mean,
bumping.
yeah, but like again though, like he's a I feel like he's just like he's gonna try to go, especially with like some of these other ones that clearly, he's surrounded by the 6 who has never been on the lead at first call. The 4, the 4
Closer for
never been on the
Cox.
lead. Yeah, so like I feel like that like here's a horse that's got 2 horses that might not break as clean on the on the inside and outside of him. I feel like I feel like Boca Chica just sends that horse. That would be my guess. But again, if nobody breaks, I think you might be right that if nobody really wants the lead, the one might just inherit the lead, which I think would be very dangerous for the rest of the field
Mm.
if
Yeah, he
the
could
one is just yeah
could be a replay of
yeah
that
who
January 17th race.
yeah and like whoever and like I said, I don't think that 5, even if the 5 goes, depending on who sits second, whoever sits second, third, and like is like clear of the others, really might just end up inheriting the lead because there's no way that 5 is going to get the distance, in my opinion. So, or at least at this class level. Now watch, he wins by like 9.
He won't. We'll be okay on that one, I think.
Yeah.
One I don't think you want to ignore is the number 11. It is the other Brad Cox in here with Fulleffort, who did finish second to Street Beast last time out. He was the 5, the gray horse that was rallying pretty nicely in the stretch. You know what we see here, Vinny, 70, 86, 90, 93, has shown a little bit of versatility, both from being further back, 6.5 lengths behind to get the victory by 5 lengths with Irad aboard, 2 back, 3 back. He was a little bit more forwardly placed. And then last time you mentioned Street Beast got out in front of him. And I like the base that this horse has, starting off 3 races on the turf at a mile, then goes to the mile on the 16th. That was an allowance win, right? So we talked about horses that A, don't have wins, or B, have only won at the maiden special weight. I'm going to hone in on some of these ones that I've seen do it again because I think that is important. And I think probably maybe try to find the one that's the best price because I don't think that there's that big of a gap once you start talking through the 1, the 7, the 11. I think that there's some intrigue in there for me amongst those 3, and we'll see who's the best priced, maybe for some value. And then one other one I wanted to mention was the number you had talked about, the number 6. I'll just say really quickly, we do love our not this time horses. Time for the money. Did get the win on the turf at Churchill in October. Moved to the dirt. That was a sloppy track. So what you could do in your past performances here is draw that line right through that race. We'll toss that one. Then goes on the bench for a little bit, runs back December 27th at Turfway on the synthetic and an allowance optional claimer. And really slow start that day. Went off as your 2-1 favorite. Fidgety in the gate, it mentions. So just really wasn't comfortable. I wouldn't be comfortable with the temperatures that we've had in Turfway back in December and January either. So, must be the 5, I would assume, right? Is that who that was? It was the 4.
No, he's the 4.
We'll take a
Or
look.
the
No, he was the 5 because the 4 wasn't in the race. So there you can see, yeah,
yep.
he's fidgety, jumps, misses the break completely.
Yeah.
Never was really involved, but does make a nice run here on the outside, the yellow cap swinging to the outside. So I just always pay attention to the horses sired by not this time right now because I think you can't really just toss them. And he makes a nice run down the middle of the track here, just not getting there, finishing, I think it's at 4th. So the 6
Yep.
time for money, I'll be interested to see what price we get on that horse. Was there
Yeah.
any prices that you think you might see in the field that intrigue you or any that are not named Street
Um.
Beast?
Yeah. I mean, I think this. I think the 10. Ace's Honor
Mm.
is another just like horse that could be a pace play. I don't love the race at Houston. I don't. It's not a big. I'm not a big fan of that track. I don't really love horses shipping in and out of that track. But again, we're talking about this is a paceless race, and this horse went 23. This horse went 23:46 on the front end last time out. Yes, it's a it's Houston. It's I don't think you can take a lot of stock into it, but the horse basically went gate to wire at fairgrounds as well. Um, so I feel like this horse does have some speed. I don't another one that I don't think is like
Mm,
that. Like almost
almost
got
got
caught there.
caught. Yeah.
Yeah, almost gets caught there going a mile. But another one that might just, quicken this thing up a little bit, where some of these horses, like the 7, the cock, the the 11 for Brad Cox, even the 12, who likes to sit, a length or two back. I think that's another horse that like could really quicken this thing up, where like these horses coming from the back can really get into gear and not just be following, because they don't want to close into like a 25-50 half mile. So I think a horse like that is going to keep it honest. We get, they go 24:47 or something in that realm. I think you'll see the horses from the back of the pack moving.
Absolutely. So we'll have more coverage. We will have to go to Turfway this weekend for doubling down because I'm tired of the $2 and $3 and $4 doubles that we've been
Oh,
coming through with. But when you get Paladin and Renegade, and you gave out Paladin and I gave out Renegade, we both gave out Renegade actually. At least our information has been on point. But I know the prices to see the leaderboard
yeah.
only at like $16. We got to shake it up a bit, and there's nothing more than shaking it up than going to Turfway,
Terrifying.
and we'll have options, Vinny, because we haven't had options going through the Derby preps because they've been the last race the last couple of times, so we've kind of been stuck having to pick the race prior.
Yep.
The Battaglia goes off as race 9 on a 10 race card, so we'll have to look through race 8 and race 10 and see what we can do to really shake it up so that we can
Yep.
give out that sherbet coffee and make someone feel like they earned it, not with just three and
Not with
$4
just
doubles.
not with just chalk. Yep. So good week to jump in if you haven't jumped in yet. Because this could easily be a double that pays $50, and you could easily just win for playing 1 week.
That's it. Doubling down.glide.page. You just have to put in your email. It's free to play, and we try to get you some prizes each month. This month is sponsored by Sherbet. Next month, we have a big surprise for you. And we have a new newsletter that will be coming out. We only send it out on Saturday. So sign up, put your email in, and you'll start to get some information that looks a little bit more official than the emails I've been sending over the course of the last 6 months. But we got a lot going on. We're not just a YouTube channel. That's really what we're trying to create here. Is we've got the app to play the contests. We've got video breakdowns that you just saw from Race Lens. We've got the newsletter coming out. We got a new model system that was 4 for 4 in the first 4 races at Mahoning Valley today. So everyone's playing Oaklawn and Fairgrounds, which crushed me. Mahoning Valley is just my little feeder every day. So we'll get that out to the people and follow along. So all kinds of good stuff going on. Uh, Put down in the comments who you think early here in the week is going to win the John Battaglia Stakes, or who you think might be a good value horse. And until next time, he's Vinny. I'm Colin. Always be doubling down, and good luck, everybody.